Hey, so if you saw, I uploaded Liza P, but I only level Vigor, and in that video, this happens. I went back to the Stargazer and warped to the Path of the Pilgrim, where a new cutscene starts. Hold on, nope. If you guys want to see this, you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. Oh, look at that. It is tomorrow. Well then, heading up to the golden stargazer that we couldn't use before, it finally activates where a prompt appears, telling us that if we continue, we would be in Overture. Continuing forward, I end up warping somewhere as I pick myself up from the snow. I had no idea where I was, but I began running up this snowy mountain. As I got further up, a bunch of bodies appear and a screech comes from somewhere in the distance. I run into this weird ice creature, a new enemy in the DLC, who inflicts a new status effect, freeze. I carefully took care of the enemies and began fighting a polar bear with some crazy spike cage on its head, and it killed me. I had to run back up and take care of them again, dying once more. And I died 8 more times after that, until I was finally able to kill the polar bear and grab the chest laying here. Continuing on, I pick up an article about the Krat Zoo, which shocks Gemini for some reason. Repairing the first stargazer, I head past the bridge and see the Krat Zoo from a distance. I head down and well, I get killed. Twice. But I do end up making it past, picking up a sad lover's note and entering the zoo with dead bodies and animals everywhere. I head further in and run into a big infected gorilla, who I run back and loop around this cage, very slowly but assuredly killing him. I head on and pick up the Krat Zoo guide, opening the front door as a voice speaks to me over the speakers. A lady named Mariona, the puppeteer of death, someone who I was sure I was gonna face at some point. I repair the Stargazer and level my Vigor up to 69. Going around the mammoth statue, I pick up a book that gives me the play dead gesture, which based off of what the book says, would help me avoid having to fight the bears. I use it, getting a cute reaction from Gemini, and continue on. Carefully exploring and picking up notes and items around the area, I meet the bloodied man on the balcony of the building. He tells me a red-haired stalker lady had helped him, and if I saw her again to thank her for him, telling me to head to the Savannah Experience Center of the zoo because there would be a clue there. After my conversation with him, he passes away, as I pick up a missing poster of Romeo. Wait, isn't this the Romeo who was kicking my ass in the main story? What the hell was going on? I carefully went through the building and picked up a new weapon, the Royal Horn Bow. This was the first bow-like weapon in the game, and I already knew I was going to make use of this to my advantage. Picking off enemies from the distance, I headed deeper into the zoo where Gemini says he thinks we might have gone back in time since he remembers a day like this in the past. Going down this path, I run into a new butterfly type, not realizing it had split into 3, so I miss out on whatever item I could have gotten. I do end up picking up a Legion caliber before heading off further into the zoo. After dealing with the enemies, I find a chest with an ancient disc, a new item in the DLC. I run into a new enemy, the infected kangaroos, killing them off until I run into the big papa of the kangaroos. Not letting him stop me, I made it to the next Stargazer, talking to Gemini, who is 100% certain that we're in the Krat Zoo of the past, but is confused how we're here. I decide to head back to the hotel and upgrade the bow, that way I could do better damage from a distance. Also getting a P organ upgrade and leveling my Vigor to 71. Going back to Krat Zoo, I meet a big infected elephant, who kills me. I do eventually deal with it, finding another new weapon and note, and then open the doors to the Savannah Experience Center. With more bodies and blood in the building, something seemed wrong. But with no clues, Gemini and I continued through the zoo, dealing with shit-throwing apes. Going around and picking up some broken grindstones, I headed over to this tower, going down into a pit filled with blood, bones, and wood. I run in as a giant crocodile pops out of the snow suddenly, and after dodging for a bit, he catches me as I die right away. Oh man. Here was the first big boss of Overture. The real annoying thing about this fight is that every time I died, I would have to do this run all the way back. I died 1, 2, 300 times. Alright, well, not 300 times, but I did die a lot. There was one attempt where I almost killed him, but as I was finishing the fight, I accidentally tried to use my Legion arm, leaving me stuck in an animation that gave me no time to dodge and I was eaten. Eventually though, I managed to get him down again, knocking him over and being able to finish the fight with a critical strike. The first major fight had been finished and I headed forward up this ladder, running into a destroyed puppet who says Mariona is its master, and clearly this puppet was abandoned. Someone was here and was dealing with a lot of my potential threats. I repair the next Stargazer and open the gates to the greenhouse interior, meeting a new enemy that looks like a puppet, but it has combos and pieces me up. I die a couple of times before reaching a dead body that Gemini says had to be there from someone with good handiwork, that he would talk to me about the legendary stalker. I run into the wrestler alchemist dude from the main game, beating him and getting an emergency note know. I make my way up and enter a room. A dead alchemist on the floor and a room filled with puppets. It seems we entered Mariona's chambers, where there's a message on her desk from Leia Florence, the legendary stalker.
A message for Mariona, my sadly not departed friend. Important matters brought me to your door. I am searching for my lost apprentice. And it should come as no surprise that I thought you or your other alchemist fiends had taken him. I hope you don't mind, but I made a mess of your lackeys as I passed through.
Now I head back into the greenhouse and repair a stargazer. Making my way to these doors, I open them and am face to face with Mariona, the puppeteer of death. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw those 2 health bars, I got scared as hell. This was only the second boss in the DLC, and 2 boss bars was not what I was expecting. She killed me pretty quickly. On my 3rd attempt, I switched my Legion arm to Icarus, one of the new arms in the DLC that shoots out saw blades, and decided to use the Royal Hornbow to try and chip Mariona from a distance. And it didn't work great, but I saw potential in this plan if I ran away constantly. On attempt 4, I decided to equip the electric grindstone. Since she was controlling a puppet, I knew the electricity would help do extra damage, and it actually did. I ran and parried her, but I got caught with an attack she hadn't done before, ending that run. On attempt 17, I decided it wasn't worth using the bow since it took so long to chip away at them, and one mistake would ruin everything. So I decided to use the 2 dragon sword, and even though I died, I managed to do so much damage so much faster. On my 30th attempt, I actually managed to knock out the puppet, which stuns Mariona for a bit, letting me get damage in, but she kills me while she resurrects the puppet. This gave me a lot of new info. Firstly, that killing the puppet wasn't really worth the time investment. Secondly, that I was gonna be on this fight for a while. It was just attempt after attempt, even getting her past half a few times, where she gets a ton of new moves with her puppet. After so many attempts, learning parry timings and dodge times, and a long ass fight of me running away and getting swings in when possible, I managed to finally kill Mariona. I'm not gonna lie, this boss took me 3 days to beat, and I'm not even exaggerating. Getting Mariona's key, I use the stargazer and head back to the entrance of the greenhouse, opening a locked door that leads to an area filled with red candles. A cutscene starts, with the legendary stalker looking at a crazy statue made from blood. As she picks up something and gets angry, we walk in and see the bloody mess of a statue for ourselves. I picked up a blood-stained locket that has a picture of 3 people in it, which seemed important to Leia. Heading forward, I meet a new puppet buddy, a little girl named Rosara. She asked us for help finding her lost shoes so she can travel the world and reach the Rose Estate. Continuing through this big door, I arrived at the Carnival, where I was gonna play every Carnival game, winning the first game here by knocking all the targets down. I found a door with a black rabbit symbol on it that was locked, and explored this lower area before running into an old friend, the Parade Master, who I deal with pretty quickly. He was easy before and he was easy now. I complete the next Carnival game, getting a new really cool weapon, and make my way to the next Carnival game from there, which is just a fight against this fire throwing puppet. He's pretty tough and kills me, but I redo the fight and take him down, getting some items as I finish the next Carnival game. Continuing on, I meet a merchant who sells me a key to the Black Rabbit's hideout, and I also sell him a rare item that he wants, getting some info from him about a rare crown I can find. Trying to open the gate, we find out we need to get a tram station key if we want to get out of here. I begin the search, learning how to dance and stealing the Black Rabbit stuff before heading over to the Ferris wheel. Using the Ferris wheel to get on top of the carousel, I head down it, dealing with the enemies and picking up Rosara's shoes. I give Rosara her shoes, making her happy and getting some stuff from her before using the tram key I had picked up to open the gate. We head up the tram station where we meet a lady in a wheelchair, Goddard the blind painter. I help her out and then take the tram station to the Hotel of the Past. I make my way down the hotel, reaching the area I was very familiar with. I pick up some new upgrades, find a note, talk to Kitty, and introduce myself to a new person, Lumakio. This man was dripped out, and he also had a lot of info on things I was curious on, learning some more about Leia and Romeo, although he was really confused when I asked him what year it was. I also meet Claus, my new big fellow who was a merchant I could get new boss weapons from, as well as use the ancient discs I picked up for rare items. I grabbed the death talons using Mariona's Ergo, getting the cool Wolverine claws that have a chance to do critical hits. After speaking to Claus, claws, I put the collar on the kitten and explored some more of the hotel, finding another black rabbit's hideout that I have a key to. Using the elevator in the hotel, I take it down to the Zealot underground facility. Heading onward, I hear a scream somewhere deep into the facility, seemingly caused by Leia, most likely dealing with an alchemist. I work my way through the facility, dealing with big men and ice beasts along the way, reading any notes I picked up while I made my way to the exit. I take care of this really big guy to unlock access to a deeper area in the facility. Slowly climbing down this narrow area, I reach a new part where I run into Veronique, the leader of the sweepers, who seems to be infected by the petrification disease, taking over her mind. I was now at the next boss. And compared to Mariona, this was nothing. Of course, I had to learn her moves first, so my first 15 tries were me learning the moves as I got hits in with the claws. But after a while, I switched to the 2-dragon sword, determined to parry her attacks. As I got better at parrying her attacks, I was even stunning her and doing critical strikes. I died a lot, but because of how quick the attempts were, it didn't feel nearly as bad as Mariona. After a few more attempts, I took her down, having a quick conversation with her before she finally passes away.
Without regret. Remember me. Veronique of Krat.
I continued to the next few rooms, meeting the Tracker, a man who's wearing an extremely familiar mask. He hates the alchemists and wants nothing but to stop them, so after a conversation with him, we form an allegiance. He gives me some info and a horn that he says to use when I run into the Overseer, saying that he'll find me as soon as I blow it. From here, I went even deeper into the alchemist facility, finding more lore and weapons, and after a lot of exploration, I made it to the end of it, opening a door leading to a giant man. It was the two-faced Overseer, the next boss. I decided to blow the horn, and the Tracker breaks in through some glass to help me fight, but even with his help, this fight was going to take some time. I was dying pretty quickly, trying my best to run away and see his swings to learn how much I would need to dodge. I went back to the hotel and grabbed some wish stones, since I wanted to make sure Tracker wouldn't die because I was going to need his help to deal with this boss. I was able to get hits in and avoid some of his hits. Once he aggroed onto me, I was pretty much cooked. I started using the royal bow to chip away at him while Tracker had his attention, and it was working pretty well, but not well enough. It took quite a few attempts, but I managed to get him halfway before dying, and then more of my deaths piled on. Using the claws, I was able to get quick hits and critical strikes on him while he attacked Tracker, eventually managing to get his health lower and lower while avoiding most of his attacks, even knocking him over multiple times, and after a long fight filled with running away, Tracker and I killed the Overseer. After talking to Tracker again, he thanks me for helping take care of the Overseer and leaves. As I head out of the facility, starting a cutscene where an earthquake happens, showing Leia in a weak state, dropping a pill bottle as she wanders into a foggy, icy area. I was now in the ancient ruins excavation site, where Lumakio happens to be at. After talking to him, I begin my trek through the mines, dying right away. I head back to the hotel and sit on the couch. Having a cute interaction with the kitty before continuing through the mine. I worked my way around, learning about some monster in the mines and taking out all the miner puppets trying to kill me, meeting Rosara once again in the mine. I give her the best possible ergo I can and get a bunch of things in return, including this heart gesture that I decided to do to her, getting a cute reaction back which surprised me. So before I left her, I decided to try out some other gestures to see what would happen. I danced in front of her and she started dancing too. I really adore the small details they put into the DLC. Finishing up some more side stuff like the secret of the ghost of the mines and the brain in a vat, I made my way up the mines, finding a destroyed mine tram and finding a big locked gate. Opening it up, I am faced with a giant chained up sack. I think it's a sack? As the chains pull out, the sack is broken open and an absolute monstrosity crawls out of it. A disgusting giant creature who can sense my ergo comes out. Breaking a piece of the chain and getting ready to attack me. I start by keeping my distance, avoiding the first few hits and getting a hit on him. As I run, he jumps straight onto me. I manage to avoid him pretty well for a bit, getting hits in when possible. He uses his red attack and manages to hit me with it, killing me instantly. It was time to learn the Guardian of the Ruins attacks. With him being so big, it made it a little easier to run from him since his attacks came out slightly slower, although he had a ton of range. So began the attempt after attempt of fighting him. After half an hour of attempts, I finally managed to get him to 30% of the way down, and once you do, a cutscene plays. It was time to deal with his phase 2. He catches me off guard by shooting out a giant beam of energy, instantly wiping me out. After another attempt, I decided to leave and finish some side stuff to potentially upgrade my weapon some more. While exploring a bit, I find an opening in the cavern wall I hadn't been in before. As soon as I enter it, I hear a screech, and as I run further in, the floor caves in and I come face to face with the swamp monster, but he's a baby here. It's time to take care of him in the past. And I didn't do too bad for my first attempt. Most of his moves were the same, but because he's a baby, his range is a lot smaller, making it easier to dodge some attacks. I was gonna make sure to beat him before going back to the Guardian. It honestly didn't take too many attempts. I was able to deal with his attacks pretty well, and before I could kill him, he runs away, leaving a corpse behind as he escapes from his death. I teleport back to the Guardian, leveling my Vigor to 82 and running in to confront the Guardian once more. Dealing with the same rigmarole for a while, I eventually managed to get him past half, and then even lower and lower, knocking him over and finishing the fight in the coolest way possible. Let me do my dancey dance on him before I leave. I take an elevator down somewhere, finding a camp with a bunch of Leia's things, and even a message left behind for someone, as well as a very scary message left behind by Arlecchino, the blood artist, who has kidnapped and tortured Romeo in what sounds like a brutal way.
All humans are intriguing to me, but you shall help me shape my study of humanity, my magnum opus. Yet, one can never be too careful, so you must be assessed. Starting now.
After listening to his message, our goal is clear. We gotta get to the Rose Estate and kill Arlecchino, and if Leia's there, we do it together. I made my way past the cliff and defeated any enemy in my way till I reached another merchant, buying the amulets off him and heading into a destroyed pirate ship. I carefully made my way around these ships, dealing with the new enemies and meeting Salau, a fisherman who took 3 days and nights to capture the monster he's laying on. After agreeing to bring him his beer, I head into the ship, and as I go to open the door, turns out, Lumacchio was indeed a villain, and he was tricking me all along, and now he wanted to kill me. So now I had to finish off the Drip King. I wasn't prepared to fight a boss, so I came into this room with no heals. So after running around a bit, I let him kill me to come back prepared. This fight was gonna be a Veronique situation, or at least that's what I was thinking, and I was sure he wouldn't take me too long. I was wrong. See, Lumacchio wasn't too bad at first. After my first 11 deaths, I basically had his moves down. But he very quickly switches up the fight. After taking out 30% of his health, Lumacchio runs back and heals himself. Thankfully, nothing much changes, it's still basically the same moves, but he is using smoke more often. I was even able to get him down to less than half, but this is where the fight changes entirely. Lumacchio transforms into a monster and instantly kills me. I was gonna have to learn an entirely new moveset now. I was parrying his first phase pretty well at this point, but phase 2 was just something else. He had crazy fast attacks and dealt a lot of decay to my weapon, practically breaking it, but I'm able to keep my distance after a few attempts, and with no heals left, I catch him with the puppet string and manage to take him down. I questioned him about a few things before he asked me to let him live, but after betraying my trust, I couldn't let him leave and I punished him, killing him for good and dancing on his body. And his drip was too clean, so I had to change my clothes. I was now the drippiest rat. I made my way out of the ship and traveled around the ice and other wrecked ships. I find a secret message from Arlecchino from when he escaped his cage on the ship. And then I make my way to a little town where it seems no one is alive. Entering the lighthouse, I found some more letters meant for Salau the fisherman, and at the top of the lighthouse I'm able to see the Rose Estate. I was getting closer and closer to the end. After running into Rosara again and entering another black rabbit hiding place, I head forward out of the village, finding a little path leading to a shack, and make my way inside, and finally, after so long, I am face to face with Leia.
Who are you? You look familiar.
Returning Romeo's locket to her and talking to her. I listen to a recording she has.
Romeo, this is likely my final message to you. I am off to battle Arlecchino to save you. I'll do whatever it takes. Your survival is all that matters.
And begin to follow her to the Rose Estate to save Romeo from Arlecchino. With Leia's help, we work our way through this cave, taking care of the enemies in our way. After a short while, we run up to the doors of the estate, entering together. However, her sickness weakens her and she needs some time to catch her breath. I made my way to the next room, opening the door and seeing a horrifying scene. It's Romeo's arms hanging from the ceiling, leaking blood on the floor, put there as a warning to Leia from Arlecchino. Leia is broken. I give her time to get herself together and head off deeper into the Rose Estate by myself. The remnants of a charity house remain, with some details of Arlecchino's creation. It's weird. As I kill the infected in the charity house, I notice that they just seem sad, lying on the ground, not attacking or paying me any mind. As I explore the charity house, I find out a lot of lore, even finding Sophia's room. Eventually, I find a secret room. It leads to a library where after doing a quick search and interacting around, I clear the way through, opening a door that leads to a fountain, where I can hear fighting in the distance. Running up and repairing the Stargazer gives me a pop-up, warning me that this is the last battle of the DLC. I was finally here, at the end of Overture, only one obstacle in my way. Leveling up my vigor one more time, hitting level 92. I head on up, opening the door to see Leia and Arlecchino fighting.
Where's the legend I faced before?
Shut up, you filthy puppet!
Oh, no. I must ask. Did you actually believe you could save your beloved apprentice? And who might you be?
I pick up Leia, beginning our match with the Blood Artist. He kills me basically instantly, a great start to the long battle that awaited me. I tried to keep Leia aggroed and get some pot shots, but that didn't work too great, and for the first few attempts, it went pretty bad.
Time to exit my stage!
I ended up switching the puppet string for Icarus, since I wanted to get more hits at a distance while Leia stayed close. This really helped, as I was able to get good damage in from far away while Leia did good amounts of damage and kept him aggro. All I had to worry about was making sure Leia didn't die and that I didn't aggro him. This was also helping me learn his swings and how best to dodge his attacks. And after quite a few attempts, I decided to use the Royal Hornbow to safely get hits in, getting him down to half on my 5th try with the bow, and on the very next attempt, I managed to avoid and hit him enough to get him to phase 2. This is where everything changes. He goes absolutely insane, turning into the ultimate demon.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for! This pain!
At the start of this phase, he catches me with an extremely fast crash, killing me right away. I now had so much more to go. I managed to dodge the initial crash the next time I reach phase 2, but he hits me with some crazy ass swings, killing me right away. It took a while to even dodge the initial crash again as it kept catching me, but I eventually did, surviving his starting attacks and finally being able to hit him back. It isn't long before he grabs me and murders me brutally. After 2 hours of more attempts, I had managed to use Icarus and keep my distance, Leia knocking him over with a special move, as I run in and we do a really cool tag team critical strike. It didn't really matter since shortly after he started doing his crazy ass crash and slice combo, killing me. It wasn't for another hour and a half where this happened. Yep, I was shattered, and another hour passed with seemingly no progress. Then, this happened. We finished the fight with a critical strike. After taking care of Arlecchino, Leia sits with Romeo's body in her arms. She realizes the whole time I was the image of Carlo, one of her dead apprentices who she deeply cared for. As I disappear into time, she stares off into the distance, now alone. After the credits scroll, we get a clear picture of Leia, Romeo, and Carlo all together. Then we see Geppetto show up, and I'ma just show you.
I believe in you. Carry on. Don't forget, this is your story now.
From there, we obtain all of Leia's things, waking up back in the present with some things changed since we made change in the past. The butterflies lead me to a gate by the golden coin fruit tree, using Leia's key to open it and heading inside a small room with a beautiful painting and one last message from Leia.
Listening to this song always reminds me of you. Do you remember the time we all gathered to play this piece together? We were happy then. They were precious, if all too short moments of happiness. Perhaps those times were so precious because of their brevity. Why is it that we humans always look for more when happiness is already in our grasp?
I head down to the main lobby of the hotel and sit down, taking in the music and feeling complete. I had done it. I had beaten Lies of P Overture, only leveling Vigor. Oh, and don't worry, I made sure to say bye to Rosora for the final time.
Farewell, my forever friend, who looks like my dear Carlo.
This challenge took me forever to finish, but I did it. Sorry for how long it took. Now, go watch the same challenge I did for the base game and check out my other stuff in the meantime. I have a lot cooking up. I'll see ya.